Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now I cannot believe it's just under a month until Anthony Joshua versus Kubrat Pulev. Time flies, right? I mean, this fight was supposed to happen in June. June 20 was the first date projected for this fight. And now it's only around the corner, in December no less. Now, obviously Anthony Joshua will have been out of the ring for a full year by that point. But ultimately at this point, most fighters have. So it's not going to be so different for Anthony Joshua to Kubrat Pulev or anyone else. Now, Anthony Joshua, I must admit, is looking in incredible shape, ready for this fight. He always is, but it's not necessarily just about how you look, it's about the preparation you are getting as you build up and towards this epic fight. Now, I think this is a good fight for Anthony Joshua's first defense. A solid opponent, solid challenger, one loss on his record to Vladimir Klitschko, which obviously was an elite and prime Klitschko. So that does mean that Anthony Joshua is facing someone who has a good winning resume. Not necessarily the best opponents on that resume, there is the likes of Derek Chisora and Hughie Fury, but no one near the level of Anthony Joshua when you consider that AJ has beaten the likes of Alexander Povetkin, Andy Ruiz Jr. and Vladimir Klitschko, the guy who beat Pulev. And of course, that does not mean that Anthony Joshua is then able to beat Pulev just because Klitschko was. It doesn't work like that. Styles make fights, but I think that the styles of Anthony Joshua and Pulev gel perfectly for a good fight. I think that it gels perfectly for a knockout. And I'm going with Anthony Joshua around rounds 4 to 7. I think that we will get to see a destructive Anthony Joshua, but a measured Anthony Joshua also. He won't go in there looking for a knockout, but that will be at the back of his mind going in there with Pulev because he knows he can hurt Pulev. He knows that Pulev has certain vulnerabilities, but then again, Pulev believes that Anthony Joshua has vulnerabilities himself. So that is why it gels for a good fight, because if Pulev truly does believe that, then he will come to fight. And on the other side, Anthony Joshua believes, and in fact knows, we all do, that Pulev has certain vulnerabilities. So if they both have that kind of mindset, then we can expect to see an explosive knockout. And in my opinion, Anthony Joshua will get that knockout. And that is based on Anthony Joshua's resume, that is based on the wins and the knockouts he has accumulated since becoming a world champion. Before that point, obviously he was still learning and going through the levels, but when you consider the kind of opponents Anthony Joshua has beaten, then you cannot say he's anything other than an elite level heavyweight, and it is proven with his track record. Now, how will Anthony Joshua go about breaking down Kubrat Pulev? Well, I think that he will break him down bit by bit. I think he will establish his jab, use the angles, and look to exploit all of the weaknesses of Kubrat Pulev. I think Anthony Joshua really learnt that in his experience with Andy Ruiz Jr., that you can take things away from your opponent and break them down that way. It's not just about focusing on your strengths, but exploiting the weaknesses of your opponent. Pulev actually said he's going to do exactly that to Anthony Joshua, but I believe Anthony Joshua will get the better of that because AJ will know how to break him down, because he's done it against Andy Ruiz. In the first fight, Anthony Joshua was fighting with Ruiz when Ruiz wanted to be fighting. In the second fight, Anthony Joshua was boxing when Ruiz wanted to fight. Those are fundamental differences and minor adjustments, you could call them, because that is what is important at this level. Can you make those adjustments? Anthony Joshua has now proven he is able to do that. Kubrat Pulev, he has one level, one gear, and the problem is he's going to need a lot more than that in a heavyweight world title fight against AJ, because when something isn't working, what you need to be able to do is adjust and change certain things. Not a lot, sometimes it's very simple, but those things remain. Kubrat Pulev has not proven he is able to do that. Anthony Joshua has. That will be the difference from Pulev going from, say, fringe to world level to elite level, because Kubrat Pulev's opponents don't really suggest he's been at world level consistently throughout his career. And you can just as well guarantee that Kubrat Pulev is going to go in there with AJ and look to box. He is not going to go in there and make a fight of it with Anthony Joshua. Why would you with someone with the power of AJ and the speed also, unless you are someone like Andy Ruiz, where Ruiz needed to do that. Pulev knows he does not have the durability of Andy Ruiz in this fight, so what he will do is look to back Anthony Joshua up behind the jab. He will look to box, but what Anthony Joshua will do is reverse the game plan of the Ruiz fight. He will make the boxer fight when he wants to box. Anthony Joshua is able to do that because he has the physical advantages and fundamental differences to Kubrat Pulev, the gears and levels that he can go through, and change and adapt his game inside the ring to adjust to his opponent. So while Kubrat Pulev is saying that he's going to get a knockout against Anthony Joshua, I don't believe by no means that is his intention. I don't believe he's going in there looking for a knockout victory. I might be wrong, but I think that that's kind of a silly game plan to go in there and gamble like that with a power puncher like Anthony Joshua. As I said, if you're someone like Ruiz, you have to do that, but someone like Pulev, whose background is boxing, a very amateurish style, bouncing, pawing with that jab, very awkward and unpredictable at times, but still, Anthony Joshua can break him down bit by bit, and Pulev, I believe, won't look to make a fight of it unless he gets hurt. Then maybe he will gamble. But aside from that, I think that Anthony Joshua will control Kubrat Pulev in this fight. He has all of the abilities and fundamentals to do so. As I said before, I think that this will be an explosive fight. I think that it won't last long. I don't think that Kubrat Pulev has the resolve to stick in there with an elite level fighter like Anthony Joshua, because he has proven to be an elite level heavyweight, much as Tyson Fury has. And obviously that is the fight that they are looking towards. But they're not overlooking Pulev like maybe Pulev is hoping for or believing, just like his team are saying. Anthony Joshua is not necessarily looking past Kubrat Pulev. In fact, I think he's excited to get in there with Kubrat Pulev because this is an opponent he knows he can hurt. This is an opponent he knows he can get his knockout streak back against, because Anthony Joshua has the power to hurt anyone in the heavyweight division, and Pulev has proven he has vulnerabilities. So Anthony Joshua can get in there, get an explosive victory over Kubrat Pulev, but that's all he is focused on at the moment. Then the Tyson Fury fight is there. Yes, that could be caused as a distraction for Anthony Joshua, but it won't be. It will be motivation instead. Anthony Joshua must beat Kubrat Pulev to get to Tyson Fury. If he does not, then there is no Tyson Fury fight. So if you switch it and look at the Andy Ruiz Jr. fight, there was no Wilder fight, there was no Tyson Fury fight because they'd made other plans. So who was Anthony Joshua going to fight after Andy Ruiz? It wasn't a big fight like he wanted. Whereas this time he knows if he beats Kubrat Pulev, he gets that Tyson Fury fight. That is the motivation. So he's not overlooking Kubrat Pulev necessarily. He's actually using it as a motivation for the fight with Pulev. One fight, then it's the big one. The one Anthony Joshua has always wanted since he began his career. So that is why this fight is of great importance to Anthony Joshua. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.